Greetings, everyone, and welcome. I am Dr. Teresa Denise, and welcome to Wellness Wednesday. I haven't really titled this yet. This is the second in the many of series to come that I normally post it on Instagram, but I've since decided to do something a little different. So I'll be over here on YouTube, and you are more than welcome to subscribe to the channel so that you get the notifications when the videos come out every Wednesday. Okay. Are y'all ready? Let me grab some water. I'm also working inside of out of my office today. I have a second camera set up and I just bumped it so good. It's always. Well, okay. Here we go. All right. So let's see. Hopefully that's it. So today is August 23rd when I will be posting this on the channel. And today is a day that's got a lot of people's panties in a bunch, right? Why? I don't know. I could maybe assume or guess that I know, but I think it's got something to do with this planet called Mercury and its retrograde. All right, so I'm going to break some of this down. I'm going to talk us through this and hopefully give us some great insight into what to do, how to do it. I also have, of course, the ancestors are in the building to assist us today. And because the sun went into Virgo, I have the flower power. Also, something that I use a lot in this office with clients, but also from time to time through readings, whatnot, are the values cards. And since we're in Virgo season and Virgo is about I analyze, why not take a look at some values? Hello. And then, of course, the lovely affirmations or just happy signs. Look at that. You look great today. Anyway. Then we also have I also have the chakra cards because I'll show you the chakra insight oracle that I think is going to be really helpful in supporting us in getting through this phase of the retrogrades. Now, first things first, let's talk about a retrograde, right? What is a retrograde? A retrograde is something that is an opposition or that looks opposite of what it normally is or what it normally does. And when Mercury or any planet goes retrograde, it's not as though it's going backwards, right? It's that the way that the time and space continuum works, right? When a planet enters into a different atmosphere, it changes how that planet moves. And so since Mercury is coming into the atmosphere, it's looking as though it's going backwards, but it's not. It's actually still going forward, but it's the speed at which it's moving is so slow, it looks as though it's going backwards. So that's why it's retrograde, but it's not moving backwards. So when people get all afraid and they're clutching their pearls because it's a retrograde, it's possibly dealing with the fact that maybe something that we thought we dealt with, we fear, right? It may be coming back, and it only comes back because we haven't dealt with it. So here today, hopefully we're able to get some insights, some tips, tools, and strategies as to how to work with the energies and not against the energies, and ultimately not against ourselves. Mercury is the planet that governs the nervous system. And if you know anything, and I am the science girl, I am the girl who likes to read, I am the girl who likes to investigate. I want to know, okay? And so if you know anything about Mercury, you think about like mercury poisoning or high levels of mercury and things like that. The impact of mercury as an element to the human body attacks our nervous system. And when it attacks our nervous system, it produces more free radicals, and free radicals are what causes cellular damage. And so if you have a system that has too much mercury, of course, you're going to have an impact to your nervous system and you're going to get really, really sick, right? So you think about like when Mercury comes into our system, it's usually coming in retrograde, and then as it leaves, it's going direct. I know. However, with Mercury as a planet, when we look at it astrologically or astronomically, astrologically, that's the word. When we're looking at it astrologically, we're looking at it as a governing body to our nervous system and our respiratory system. Why respiratory? Because respiratory, we typically think of like breathing and communicating, like everything dealing with the upper chest, right? So not the heart, but well, I guess the heart is the high chest. But anyway, it's the it does respond to, or it does govern the respiratory system. And our respiratory system is a part of, as it relates to our chakras, our throat. It's a part of our communication. And Mercury is represented as a symbol of communication, a rapid communication. So that's why when Mercury comes in and it's going retrograde, it's a fast moving, and people are like, oh my gosh, I got to hurry up and say what I need to say, or don't say it, or do whatever I need to do, because it's about communication and it is about speed. But then when that speed is slowed down, it almost looks like it's in reverse, but it's not in reverse. It's just the time is irrelevant, right? So when something is in retrograde, time is irrelevant. So whatever you need to work on it, right? So when you hear someone talk about Mercury in retrograde, do not fret, mon frere, right? Do not be afraid, because it is ultimately about, Mercury represents communication, connection, and ultimately information. So what do you need to know, right? Are you intimidated or afraid of what you need to know? Are you shy about what's coming into your life? Are you welcoming things of change with an open heart and an open mind? Or do you typically resist it? And if you typically resist it, yeah, Mercury retrograde is going to put you on your tail, because it's about communication. And communication, as people I think sometimes get misinformed about, is that it's not what you speak out, it's what you speak in. So how are you communicating with yourself at this time? Which I think this day is really dope as a result of that, because the moon is also going void course. And so when the moon goes void course, it's just a pause in the conversation, or it's about being able to take a breath. So something I read about the moon that I think is really helpful to understand about astrology and chakra work, psychological work, emotional work, healing, shadow work, all the work that we are sent here to do as human beings before we leave this glowing rock in the sky. So you think of the moon as like a big satellite, right? And a satellite dish, the moon is a satellite dish for Earth. And so when the moon geometrically joins another planet, it peaks up that energy of that planet and reflects it back to us. So our moon is like satellite dish, a mirror, right, if you must, of whatever is happening within that like angle. So you think of like rainbows or light waves or sound waves, and the moon is kind of that dish to reflect those things back in. So when something is going in retrograde, it's a reflection of our past communication patterns. Now we could either say, oh, things have been going really well and I'm going to continue to do XYZ, or we can say, oh man, it's been trash. And I know it's been trash. And because it's been trash, I'm about to deal with my trash. I'm gonna have to take it out, or I'm gonna have to do something about it. So generally there are three portals, or I shouldn't say three portals, but there are three planets that when they are in conjunction with the moon, because these planets are the outer planets, Neptune, Pluto, and Uranus, when they become in conjunction, which is a 0 degrees, so when they're the closest in the geometrical pattern to the Earth, the moon, and that planet, then that's when we have what we call a portal, right? Or a way for that energy to be at its highest peak for our body sensation, emotional, energetic ability to create, destroy, change, shift, love, manifest, recreate, join, take away from, whatever it is we need. So when you hear people talk about that, that's what they're generally talking about. And I feel like, maybe sometimes people dramatize it to say like, oh my gosh, you have to do this or you have to do that. You don't have to do anything, right? But stay who you are and be who you are. And if there are things that you'd like to change or shift or move into, that is your free will. That is your choice. No person, place, or thing is going to shift that dynamic for you unless you give it that power. All right. Sidebar. Okay. So today, 8:23, the moon goes void course. So it's about taking a pause, right? That's one part of this beautiful day. Another part is that Mercury is going retrograde. And when Mercury goes retrograde, it's just a time for us to take a look into our nervous system, into what we feel confident and calm in, what we and how we observe our communication styles, and what types of connections and information are we processing at the time. Also, because the moon, or excuse me, keep saying the moon, the sun went into Virgo, and Virgo is about I analyze. And so Virgo is very earthly. And so this is also a day, a time to get grounded. Because Virgo is earth energy. So hug a tree, get a plant, water a plant. One thing, and I think I've talked about it before, one thing I love to do is go to Home Depot or Lowe's or something like that, and just walk around in the garden center and touch the plants and talk to them. And here at the Home Depot, there's a cat that lives there in the store. And so sometimes I'll see the cat kind of just chilling, or the cat will follow me, or I'll follow the cat. And it's just like, let's have fun. So this is with Virgo. It's also about, Virgo represents like assimilation to our gut and our survival, our survival instincts to finally get some of the stress out. So we have the void course moon, we have Mercury going retrograde, and then we have the sun in Virgo. So now is a great time to get grounded in how you speak to you, and how you speak to you in a way that is healthy and healing, and not that leads to more tension and stress. Because where we're going in this next cycle, are we going to need that? I don't think so. I don't think we're going to need to continue to stress ourselves out and speak negatively and speak harmfully to ourselves, because we are ourselves, right? And so we need us to survive. I need you to survive. You need me to survive. I need me to survive, right? As I talked about on the podcast, I need to learn how to mind my business and mind, right? Trusting myself and getting into the business of me, so that as I do and be and grow, someone else can see that, and then they mind themselves, and then that continues, right? And then that continues. So I think one of the most important aspects that is also going to happen today in the ethers is the moon is going opposition with Uranus. Okay, so why is this important? The moon is our intuition, and Uranus is the planet of eccentricity and freedom. And so it's going in opposition. A conjunct is 0 degrees. So an opposition would be 180. I'm not going to get into geometry and science and things like that right now. But if you'd like to know, then I will, send me a message, and then maybe I'll post a video about the different aspects and the conjunctions and trines and all that fun stuff, right? And just do a video just for that if you'd like to know. But for today, opposition, when something goes in opposition, they're opposite of each other. They're completely opposite of each other, right? And when they're in opposition of each other, they are motivating each other, right? It's like they're pulling there. Well, I shouldn't say pulling because it's not tension, but they're just incomplete. It's the complete other side of whatever that thing is. And it's not a negative, it's not a bad thing, right? So the moon is our intuition, it's our emotional temperament, and Uranus is our eccentricity, it's our freedom. It's almost like a foolish type of energy. And so if we're taking a look at pausing our conversations, at being more mindful, at being more intentional, and understanding our connections and how we're receiving and putting out information as it relates to the retrograde, if we're also using this time, this season of Virgo, and analyzing and not over analyzing, but analyzing to the point where we recognize this is where tension is. I need to ground myself so I can get rid of the tension. When the moon goes in opposition of Uranus, this is also about freedom. How are we using this to set ourselves free? What cords are we cutting? Because on the, let's see, did I write it down here? On the 28th, Pluto actually goes in conjunction to the moon. And then Uranus goes retrograde on the 28th. Sorry, Pluto doesn't do anything until the 30th, I think. But Uranus goes retrograde on the 28th. So when Uranus goes retrograde on the 28th, right? If we start now, if you start today or whenever you see this, right? Prior to the retrograde of Uranus, you're able to communicate and to get out some of those things that are possibly blocking how you communicate in a way that's healthy and positive and well, so that when it's time to take a look, right? Because the retrograde is slowing down, is wanting you to look at it, really, really hard, really nicely. Okay. So when it's time to take a look at our freedom, what are we observing? And what are we truly expressing as what it means to be free? Eccentricity, we think of eccentricity as people ask me like, oh, what's your therapy style, what's your counseling style, what's your theoretical orientation? And it's like, it's whatever the person needs. And it's like, oh, that's really eccentric, I guess. Because if I were to say it is very specific, I only do this one thing, then somebody comes in and I'm like, I don't know what to tell you, I don't know what to. It's not about me having to be the jack of all trades, but it is about me having to understand the human behavior and what the human emotion requires, so that there is healing and wellness. And sometimes it may be a dialectical type of cognitive feedback type of thing, and sometimes it may be more narrative or more creative. It's always culturally relevant, right? It's always, and I don't mean just culture being race and ethnicity, although that is a part of culture, but culture extends beyond. And it's, what's the culture of your house? What's the culture of your neighborhood? What's the culture of the food you eat, right? How are all of these things that are creating this system of who you are into being, which is ultimate freedom, how is that impacting you today? So right now, we have this opportunity to take a look at Uranus's motivation, or our intuitive motivation into our freedom, because when it comes on Monday, the retrograde, it's going to be a time for us to also utilize that understanding and awareness in a different way. So let's take a look and see what the cards have to say about this. I'm going to try. Let's see. I think I can do it. I think I can do it. I did it. Okay, so as I stated, I have these cards, right? I have the values cards. I have the what are they called? The flora healing. I have the motivational cards, the chakra cards, and of course the ancestors are in the building. I'm gonna wait for the ancestors, gonna let them give us a message towards the end, and I'm actually gonna start off with a motivator, right? What types of things can we be motivated by during this special time, during this full moon? Or excuse me, it's not a full moon. The full moon will be next week. It's a lot of beautiful energy that's happening all around us. And the astrology is able to provide so much insight and support for us at this time. So what positive message can we bring into this awareness and conversation? Okay, I'm going to pull this because I saw it, but it says, design your life. It's 4 cards, And I said that. I think I said that. Maybe I was just feeling it, but I felt that I said, we're going to go to 4, 5, and 6. 4 is the number of stability. 4 is represents the material world. So in our material world, how are we able to see that we can design our life? Creativity is intelligence having fun. Yes, it is, right? Especially as we're looking to let me grab my notes, especially as we're looking to how this new season is going to be coming up for us, and ultimately how we are going to be able to get out of this assimilation or out of this stagnant energy that tells us we cannot be free. Happiness blooms from within. Yes, it does. It's just talking about the throat chakra, right? And Mercury going retrograde. Mercury is about communication. It's about connection. It's about information. So what type of information are you giving to yourself? And also, excuse me, it's now or never, right? It's now or never. Let's get a chakra. Oh, I am loving this energy already. I'm loving this energy. I'm loving this energy. Design your life. Happiness blooms from within. Creativity is intelligence, and have fun. Whoa, it's now or never. Okay, that was a lot. Let's calm down. Calm down. Calm down. I'm hearing Janae Aiko in my ear, right? Calm down. Calm down your energy. She's such a dope soul. Action, right? Also Mercury retrograde is about action. And at the bottom we have here love. Look at the puppy dog. He looks so sweet. He looks so sweet and kind. Oh my gosh. How is my puppy dog doing? He is a terror. He tore my glasses. He went and got outside in the outside garbage can. He's so smart. There's a box sitting next to the larger garbage cans, and he got on top of the box to open the garbage can, flip the bigger garbage can over, and eat out the garbage can. I mean, I wasn't upset. I was more impressed than anything. But it's like, bruh, you got a 80-pound bag of food. If you're hungry, just say something. Use your words, right? Okay, so we have the number 3. This is a root chakra. And perhaps this is time to get rooted, right? Time to get grounded. The root chakra is about movement, perseverance, discipline, and motivation. And this is coming up as action. Now, the number 3 is about communication. And threes also represent the number, or excuse me, the energy of self-expression and creativity. So how can we, in this time, given that Uranus is also in conjunction with the moon, and then itself will be going retrograde, what type of movement, what type of discipline, what type of motivating creative things that may be exploring or expressing our eccentricity at this time, or our freedoms at this time, can we tap into? I'm also, because I'm just going to pull that card, I'm going to take a look at the book for number 3. As I said, this is a root chakra. And this is about clarifying intentions, feel the rhythms of your calling, and begin. Take the first step in faith, knowing that the universe will align to support you. That's that now or never, right? Consider an area of your life that you are ready to change or transform. Ask yourself, what physical action you can take today, perhaps in the next 10 minutes, to assess and bringing about this goal. When the answer comes, follow it. It's now or never, people. It's now or never. Let's see what the energies of the plants, of the flower power has for us. And it's time to ground, It's time to get grounded. It's time to get for real. We're coming into the end of summer for some of us, right? Depending on what side of the earth you're on. For some of us, it's the end of winter. So spring will be starting for some and fall will be starting for others. But it's action, it's movement, it's perseverance, it's discipline. Ooh, get disciplined. You know, it doesn't take that long for your body to get comfortable with any type of condition you put it in, because we have a wonderful, beautiful machine. So whatever you want your body, your machine to do, get disciplined in it. Some people, listen, when it comes to retrograde, the thing that bothers people is that some people get disciplined in the things that create more disharmony than harmony. And then by the time a retrograde comes around, they're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe all this stuff is happening. Well, how not? What were you doing? Okay. And that's not a judgment. That's really just to ask yourself, like, what have I been doing? Okay. This is milk. This is milkweed. Oops, excuse me. It's right here. This is milkweed, and milkweed is about rescue. Milkweed is the only food source for the monarch butterfly, right? Milkweed availability in North America has decreased as a result. This butterfly faces a dwindling supply of nutrients just as they are at risk. So are we. As a species, we have become accustomed to abandonment. We collect objects, experiences, and relationships quickly and relinquish them early when they become tiring. However, what if we were conscientious in our selection and limited what we acquired and threw away? Would we find more fulfillment? What aspects of yourself have you tossed aside? Is it time to rescue them? What actions are we needing to take now or never? Happiness blooms from within. Oopsie, here we go. And design our lives. Design your life. You know, this throwing away things, right? That's that transformation, that number 5 that I think it comes with a little bit of adversity. So I'm just shuffling up some of the values cards. It comes with a little bit of adversity, but it's about being able to align ourselves with our higher self. So when we're taking action, when we're creating movement, when we're motivating ourselves, you don't see anybody else with her. And in fact, it looks like she's kind of sitting in this forest, and there's some type of light beam, here we go, coming off of her body, as though she were the light, as though she were the star, as though she were the one who's able to make magic happen. How often do we get caught up in denying our ability to make magic happen? How often do we stop designing our lives and hoping that somebody else is going to come along and design it for us? All right. And when I say that, support and hope comes out, right? How often are we looking for support and hope in places that are not from within? So this green card, you know, can be represented for me as the heart chakra, and this blue card is represented as the throat chakra. There are numbers on the bottom of them, and this is the number 4, and this is the number 6. So support is the number 4, and hope is the number 6. And again, 4 is about stability. 4 is a number that comes in to say, you know, here's how we develop or create or demonstrate our form world. But 6, right? 6 is that number that is representing, we have 2 4s here, 2, you know, symbols for me, 2 4s. But 6 is the number of harmony. 6 is the number that comes after the adversity of the 5 with change, and it comes in to say, hey, now it's time to grow. Now it's time to love, right? So let's take a look. Support and hope. Ancestors are in the building. Support and hope. Designing our life. Knowing that happiness blooms from within. What message can we use for today to support us for this energetic time and growth? And as always, if you all have any questions, please don't hesitate to leave a comment in the box as well. Whoa, not you throwing yourself. Okay. Leave a comment in the box, as well as don't hesitate to subscribe. At the bottom, we have the 2 of baskets here. Okay. Two baskets at the bottom of the deck. So maybe what's twos are duality. And the baskets represent our earth, our pentacle, or excuse me, no. Yeah. And this deck, the baskets represent pentacles or earth. So that's that balance, being adaptable. And I feel like I've been talking about balance and adaptability a lot. It could just be me talking about it, but I feel like I've seen it before. So this card came out, and that's Dem Bones, and Dem Bones is the judgment card in this tarot deck. And judgment is about absolution. It's about coming to an end. We have two tens that's coming together to be the number 20. And so there's a judgment that's coming in, but this is not to fret, you know. Don't fret. Don't be afraid of the judgment. If you have done all the things that you have needed to do for yourself, for your life, for your growth, for your grace, then there is nothing to be afraid of. In fact, there's actually things to be proud of or to be happy for, because judgment is coming in to say, like, look, you've done the work. You're needing the support. I got you. You've done all the action. No problem. You've asked for how to design your life. I'm right here, right? Because underneath there we have, and I said 5-6. I was looking for the 5-6. So we have the 5 of knives, and then we have the 6 of baskets, right? And the five represents adversity, but this five, this is an interesting take on the 5 of knives, because this person has a bit in their tongue. And so, as I've talked about, what the book has talked about before, when it comes to the practice of putting a bit in your tongue, if you had to go to court and you knew that you had to lie and you had to not tell the truth, how about that? And in order to be saved, or in order to be not judged or condemned for that, you put a bit in your tongue as a way to say, like, I know I have to do this thing, but please forgive me in advance, because I have to do what I have to do, right? Knives represent air. It represents this quickness. It represents this reason, right? There's a reason to this. So when the 5 of knives comes in, there is some type of conflict, and perhaps there is a conflict, right? I mean, yes, why wouldn't there be? We're human beings living in this spiritual formed world, trying to have an experience, and there's always going to be some conflict. But how do you resolve it? 6 of baskets, right? You recognize that creativity is intelligence having fun. You have to get creative when your actions, and know that you are supported when you don't just recklessly let things go, but you analyze them, you understand them, and you trust, right? Or have hope for things. When we lose hope, we lose a little bit of our humanity, don't we? But the 6 of baskets, so six is the growth, right? So we have 3, 4, and of course here as well. We have 5 and we have 6. And like I said, 6 is harmony, 6 is love. So the 6 of baskets comes in to say that there is some generosity, there is some charity, there is some giving. Something wants to give to you. We live in a universe of giving. We live in a space where there's always this opportunity for growth and for more. But when we just throw things away, we throw what they say, throw the baby out with the bathtub or with the bathwater. I don't know. It's such a dark phrase. So I need to find something else to to use. But our happiness comes from within when we're able to have fun, when we're able to recognize that even if we make a mistake, even if we have to do something that's maybe a little unsavory, a little unfavorable, we have favor because our heart is in the right place. Right. And I'm not, this isn't about like, oh, well, Dr. T said I can commit a crime or a felony and I'll be okay. I'm not saying that. Okay. I'm not judging you for it though either. But I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is you have to be You have to trust that the way you want to design your life isn't coming from the outside. It has to come from within. The support, this green color is the color of the heart chakra. I hope it hit. Oh, excuse me. It's the color of the heart chakra, and the heart chakra's symbol or expression is I love. Not you, not I love you, not you love me, not they love them. I love, right? So being able to find the thing that you love and then express it. And again, this isn't expressing it out to someone else, this is expressing it in. How are you saying to yourself that that my happiness, right, is worth growing? But I have to go outside to grow it. You have to know that happiness blooms from within. And when you have discipline towards the things that you enjoy without the fear of abandonment, right? You're able to make a mistake if you need to, because everybody does, because there'll be harmony and happiness that comes from that, right? So I hope this made a little bit of sense and gave you some insight for the day. I will be here next week with new information. We're going into a full moon season. So next week is going to be full of all of the goodness. We'll see how this Mercury retrograde behaves for us and how we behave for it these first few days. And then following that, we'll have the retrograde in Uranus, which I'll dive more into along with the full moon. So again, if you have any questions, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe, leave a little bit of comment in the box below, and I will see you soon. As always, be kind, be fun, and be well. Bye.